I'm just getting warmed up.
Why do you do all this?
We're doing the Lord's work here.
If you say so. Be seeing you.
After watching episode 3 in season 6 of Better Call Saul, Rock and Hard Place, it was another quality episode with a surprise ending. I definitely did not see that coming, at least not this early in the season. I figured if something like this was going to happen, it would be during the season break. Without giving away any spoilers from another show, it reminded me of a surprise kill that happened in the middle of Sopranos season 4. When Nacho got to safety and called his old man, I'm sure I wasn't alone in getting the feeling that this was the last time they would ever speak. But even with the way this was strongly hinted at, I still didn't think the end of the road was just around the bend. During his final moments in that final scene, even when they gave the feeling that something was going to happen, and even though we knew every character there, bar Nacho, survived unscathed into the Breaking Bad timeline, they still managed to pull off the episode with a splendid blend of intensity and uncertainty. Nacho's final words of defiance, especially those directed at Hector, helped him to go out Sinatra's way, as Nacho followed up providing his final farewell on his own terms. Still feels like there is a big missing piece of the puzzle for Nacho. We don't know a whole lot about his background, but everything we are shown strongly suggests that his father and him love each other unconditionally, and Nacho literally proved that with his own life. So what made Nacho break bad? We may never know, and I suppose we never need to know. We've seen plenty of other characters break bad, but Nacho's turn doesn't have an apparent catalyst like most of the others we've seen. Perhaps some final bridge details will be provided in a flashback when Nacho's old man finds out what happened, assuming he does. Regardless, despite Mike's promises, you have to believe the Salamancas might go after Nacho's dad anyway. Perhaps Mike can still make use of that ID he pocketed. Something about the Gus-Mike alliance still seems a long way off from how it was portrayed in Breaking Bad. It is almost certain that Lalo is the missing piece in this puzzle. I generally believe Mike will wind up saving Gus, but there will be much more to it than that, something that fundamentally tones Gus down to Mike's level, as Mike has already gone as far towards Gus as I think he ever will, which has been a great deal, frankly. Mike certainly seems loyal enough to Gus that he's willing to overlook the Ziegler incident entirely. But one way or another, Lalo is the key for the Gus-Mike alliance. We did not actually see Lalo in this episode, but already his story is again colliding into the world of Kimmy and Jim. They are deep in their plot to ruin poor Howard, and we get to see Huell expertly pick a mean pocket like the smooth, invisible operator he is. I have no idea what the plan is for Howard, but I'm confident in stating he doesn't deserve whatever is about to happen to him. Even McGill seems to know this. When Huell asked him why he does what he does, McGill made some bogus claim about doing the Lord's work. Huell wasn't buying it. And after he left, you get the impression McGill didn't know the answer to that question either. And now that the slippin' lawyer couple believes Lalo is dead, and now that Goodman is being suspected as a cartel lawyer, I'm worried for poor Howard. The fact that Nacho is already gone has me thinking things will not end well for Howard, especially since he looks so optimistic in previews for next week.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Do you want to be a friend of the cartel, or do you want to be a rat?
When Kimmy learns they suspect McGill of being a cartel lawyer, she has a cold and calculating Corleone-like demeanor. Kimmy corrects the ADA at one point, insisting she refer to Jimmy as Saul, explaining he is Saul Goodman now, which again suggests that Kimmy was far more instrumental in transforming McGill into his Goodman persona. When we look back at Goodman in his earlier days of Breaking Bad, he was always pushing Walt to cook more, trying to get Pinkman to persuade Walt to cook. And the interesting thing to think about is rewatching a lot of these scenes. It is not unreasonable to believe Goodman is working under the direction of Kimmy. The idea that Kimmy is still in the background calling the shots is entirely plausible with what we see of Goodman in Breaking Bad, particularly in seasons 2 and 3. I'm not saying this is the direction things are heading, but if it was, and it was done in the right way, we could be in for some really entertaining TV down the final stretch. When Kimmy tells Goodman about the cartel situation, Goodman isn't even sure what to do. He wants her advice and approval before he makes a move, and then she makes the observation about being a friend to the cartel or a rat. The fact Goodman had no quick answers of his own, deferring to Kimmy, says a lot about the shifting dynamics here. Kimmy understands the big picture far better than Goodman. Kimmy is not only in the game now, but she is actually much better at the game than Goodman himself. And he's pretty damn good at playing the game in his own right, but he's not quite as good as Kimmy, and on some level he seems to understand that. One final thing I want to say is that Better Call Saul has long been more of a slow burn, but through 3 episodes of the final season, this is not the case at all. Things are moving, and even some of the unrelated things happening seem to have at least a loose connection where a lot of things are starting to fall into place. In that sense, it has more of a later season Breaking Bad vibe, which is certainly not a bad thing. If they can maintain this atmosphere of building momentum with pieces falling into place, this should wind up being a damn fine final season, and I think this was a damn fine send-off for Nacho. But whatever happens, I'm fired up to find out, and season 6 is off to a very strong start in my opinion. Tight, tight, tight. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
I'm just getting warmed up.
We're not talking about a bar trick here. We're talking about scorched earth.
We're talking about a career setback.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Why you do all this?
We're doing the Lord's work here.
If you say so. Be seeing you.
I was thinking about our first move. On the Howard front?
We're doing that.
I thought we were, aren't we?
I'm just getting warmed up.
What are you getting at? Are you building some kind of case against Jimmy?
No.
So Saul Goodman drives a brown Ford Taurus.
And I think Jimmy does too.
Saul.
I'm sorry?
And Saul Goodman has an office. He practices now under the name Saul Goodman, although I distinctly remember you referring to him as a scumbag.
You think I should do it?
It depends.
On what?
We should start looking for something for you. I mean, for Saul.
Sold. When do we start?
Do you want to be a friend of the cartel, or do you want to be a rat? What if we used the real car? I mean, like his real car.
His car. That's a bit direct.
I'm just getting warmed up.
So when you are sitting in your shitty nursing home and you're sucking down on your Jell-O night after night for the rest of your life.
Your dad's gonna be okay.
How do you know?
Because anyone who goes after him is gonna have to come through me.
You think of me, you twisted fuck.
There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and
I'm just getting warmed.
You're done. You are done!